communications leader through his efforts and the efforts of thousands of telephone people. During the decade from 1907 to 1917, the transcontinental line was completed. The development of the vacuum tube amplifier made this possible. Voice signals were transmitted across the Atlantic by radio telephones, dial telephones, and automatic switchboards were introduced. The company grew and prospered. The 20s were exciting times. Lindbergh, G-Men, stock market, prohibition occupied the public's mind. The Bell system, meanwhile, was developing radio, talking pictures, television, and transoceanic communications. Automatic switching systems built by Western Electric rapidly replaced manual offices. By 1960, the switched network was the Bell system's principal physical resource, producing 95% of its total revenues. The Depression years brought hardships to everyone. Loads on switching and transmission systems increased as the country geared up for war. Shortages of materials prevented expansion except for the war effort. 68,000 employees were in the military services. Telephone growth virtually stopped. However, wartime developments paved the way for future growth. Telephone people could now concentrate on improving peacetime communications. The scientific and technological innovations created by the people of the Bell system have had a dramatic effect, not only on the communications industry, but on the business and social community as well. Improved vacuum tubes, coaxial cable, microwave transmission, and switching techniques increased transmission capabilities 1,000-fold. In 1947, the transistor was invented and started a multi-billion-dollar industry. Many of today's corporate giants producing computers and microelectronics did not exist prior to the invention of this device. Lasers, solar batteries, light guides, microprocessors, all developed by people of the Bell system, enable us to communicate with each other easier and faster. Today, the communications industry remains in the forefront of technological development. The first transatlantic telephone cable crossed the Atlantic in 1956, 90 years after the first telegraph cable was laid. Telephone cable systems now connect all the continents. Rocketry development in the early 60s made it possible to orbit communication satellites. The Bell system initiated this effort, and a whole new global communication system was developed for instant transmission of voice, data, and TV signals. During the years to come, new inventions and discoveries will be added to the electronic marvels that are already taken for granted. As the communications system has grown in size and complexity, the original spirit of service remains. Since 1876, when Watson ran to assist Bell, telephone people have been going to the aid of others in emergencies, while performing their duties of keeping the communication network operating under difficult conditions. The Vail Award for Acts of Heroism in Public Service has gone to over 2,000 people since the first award in 1920. The Telephone Pioneers of America, the largest organization of its kind in the world, 200,000 active and retired members, participate in a growing program of fellowship, social, hobby, historical, and community service activities in keeping with their creed of fellowship, loyalty, service. The communications industry remains a human organization dealing with human problems. This all started with one man, Alexander Graham Bell, and continued with Watson, Hubbard, Sanders, Vail, and soon followed with thousands of men and women devoting their time and talents to this great industry. In 1983, the Bell companies were the second largest employer in the United States. Today, we have half again as many telephones as we do automobiles, and by upcoming communications prospects, that ratio will probably grow. People from all walks of life, physicists, engineers, installers, operators, assembly workers, office workers, construction workers, and astronauts are all part of this great industry, solving problems and working on creating a world still unknown to us. Hello.
Hi, honey. What's happening on Nebula 3? Gee, you sound as if you're right next door.
Screw you, Brooks. You don't talk to me like that. I'm quitting. Sorry.
It's sure good to hear your voice.
It was a Those who know, know.
There. I'm
All right.
working again somewhat. In theory, I'm still, just some reason, reduced volume. And then you are going to be here, and we pop it over. That didn't work. Wonderful. I fucking hate doing this. Capture audio, select a window. Guessing it's that one. There you are. There's Sunday. How you doing, Sunday? You can talk and say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
That's nice. It's very kind of you. I don't think people understand how bad of a day it's going to be.
Well, apparently I'm very loud. And you're very quiet to me, but that doesn't matter. I can hear you, so.
Yeah, we're quiet and loud, and it's because I have never set this up before, and we haven't even touched this shit in a very long time. So that's just how it works. Just how it works. And everyone gets
I can also adjust I can adjust my input as well if it gets too bad. So, Sunday's fine. Brooks is quiet. Yeah, boost yourself if you can. I think
I am working on it. It's some weird thing with. It's a long story. I'm getting there.
Okay. I'm just looking at more updates. I'm more curious about how this is going to be spun and what this is going to motivate. Not that I'm that curious because I think we already know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess two things out of the way first of all, because we canvassed this beforehand. No, this isn't good. This is very bad for everyone, especially people on the left. In fact, predominantly people on the left, but everybody generally. B, no, we're not sad about Charlie Kirk, but that doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it. I think it's a fair thing to say because I think we don't have to care about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
we don't. I feel for his family. I feel for his children a lot.
Yeah.
I feel for a lot of these things, actually. I feel in a big way. But I think we're actually in a really difficult place right now. And I feel bad in a lot. Look, there is no end of the sort of horrifying synchronicity around the event. I don't know if you saw my comment in your chat.
There was another shooting in Colorado while this was going on.
Well, it was going on.
Shot. Yeah.
And it happened to be outside of Littleton, where I grew up. So that was weird timing. And also he was being asked about mass shooters when this happened.
Yeah. Apparently you're booming now, but it doesn't seem to be the case for me. So this must be a thing on your end.
Well, I'm adjusting.
Do you have your OBS up? Are you looking at your audio levels?
I'm looking at it right now. They're the same as yours in theory.
All right.
I had to adjust it. I turned a thing off and on.
It's okay. It's okay. But apparently you're blasting.
Well, I was.
You spike randomly. That's
really?
Yeah, it might be a connection thing if that's the case.
No.
It should be
it's
consistent,
fine.
No?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not that bad? Okay, well, we'll deal with it. Deal with it, okay?
Yeah, I don't really know what to do with it. It's fine.
Sorry, go on before you were rudely interrupted.
There's a great deal of irony in all of it. And it hurts my soul, honestly, that these things are coming. I was talking to a documentary crew this morning about Columbine. So, and some filmmakers, and it was a very good, long conversation. But to have this sort of follow up on that with everything else is just very... It's horrifying. And I think there's a political reality that I think is even worse. Given Charlie Kirk's position in the right, this is going to be an excuse for martial law. I don't see this as being anything but a pretext for Trump at this point, who's used literally everything for everything.
Oh yeah.
This is the shooter is still out there. As far as I'm able to tell, there is no one who's been. There were arrests of people who were belligerent or fist fights started in the crowd, I think, and there was one woman who got arrested as well. There were a couple arrests by campus police.
It's a perfect storm because it didn't just happen to a prominent but politically unimportant in key ways figure on the right. Like, this doesn't affect policy or anything of that sort. This isn't like someone like the president, for example, or somebody in the inner circle who makes decisions and has like logistical importance. This is someone who's essentially purely symbolic. They're a placeholder. Somebody else would take their spot. However,
correct.
This happening to them is a tremendously powerful political tool for the right. But in addition to this, it was on a college campus. We know how those people feel about college campuses.
Yes, we do.
It is easily like here's the thing: people are asking like, "Oh, is it it's a trans person? It's a trans person." People are posting under the comments. It's like it doesn't matter because if it's not a trans person, they'll say it's a trans person, and maybe at some point down the line they'll acknowledge, "Okay, yeah, sure, maybe that one wasn't." But by that point, it won't matter anymore. Everything will have been done, and I'm not just concerned about martial law. I'm concerned about sweeping censorship and sweeping ideologically targeted persecution on social media globally. Here's the thing. All of this will be used not to target particular groups of people. It will also be used to target particular groups of people, but not specifically to target trans people, not specifically to target immigrants, not specifically to target like whoever. This will be used to quote unquote target the common root of all of those things, and that will be any discussion featuring those things at all. That's what's going to be the villain in the story, is the ideological bugbear that turns people into sympathizers with the enemy within. And
yeah, absolutely.
So it's like this is one of those things where it could be wrong. Like it's one of those things where it's distinctly possible, as it always is.
No, he's going to be a martyr. They're already treating him as such, and
I agree.
He was in a position that, if he had just been physically attacked, let alone this, even that I think would have been a lot. He is, as you said, he's a symbolic position. Charlie Kirk worked himself to be someone who, personally, and his arguments and ideas, I think, are mostly irrelevant. Yeah. But his place in all of this, to be frank, him, Ben Shapiro would be another person I think that is in that spot. And I would even say he's more in the spot because Ben Shapiro has, Nick Fuentes is talking about mourning Charlie Kirk. Like, that's how you get to that position of this for me.
Nick Fuentes has to talk about mourning Charlie Kirk. And here's the thing.
Because he was a good white Christian.
Well, that's the thing. People are, what people's response to this is? It's not I hate the left, it's I hate liberals. So just to be clear, Democrats are being when people think, and people in that community think Democrats, and a lot of people who don't pay attention think Democrats, the image before them is blood shooting out of Charlie Kirk's neck, up close, because everybody has seen the footage now.
And it's something
you guys leftists, you're right out. You're not even getting into the room. So you are being like slandered by proxy a million degrees away, and don't worry, it's hitting you. Anyone who's like, I'm guarantee there's going to be a Bad Empanada video where he's like, good, great, and he's going to be like super pumped about it because he thinks this portends the end of American empire, right? That's what that means. It's like, no, this is all part of the plan. This works perfectly. Here's the deal, Charlie, because here's the fact of the matter. I was talking about this when I was live a couple minutes ago. It's like, if he obviously wasn't like conscious during that time, but if he was, it must be weird being in someone like Charlie Kirk's position and knowing that while you're in that situation, everybody who's going online and saying, "Oh, our thoughts and prayers, we love you, Charlie Kirk's family. We're so sorry. This is horrible." They're all praying that he dies.
He wasn't.
So
he wasn't.
if he does.
He wasn't around after that first shot, probably.
No. I thought I had seen the close up.
No, I saw the close up.
I realized that I didn't. And
I don't recommend it.
I saw it. I saw the close up. It's not. It's the kind of thing It's the kind of thing you have to look specifically for certain kind of sites to find. Typically, it's not good.
No.
Like I saw the actual close up, and I was like, okay, no, that's not.
No,
That's
and
not
again,
happening.
the shooter
Yeah.
getting away at this point, and
Yeah.
not being there. There's a couple of things that I think are scaring me more. The first is that with all of the wide angle footage of this, there
Yes.
wasn't even there's no indication of where that shot came from. There was no
That's the
reaction
thing.
of the crowd, which means it
Yeah.
was a longer distance. The sound was a long barrel. It sounded like a long gun. And so this is like, again,
I've seen video of people getting shot by like handguns. It doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that.
yeah, it's also, they usually don't use one, only shoot once.
Yes.
Um,
This was like
a long gun does.
that
so-
was excellent aim is what that was.
Yeah, it's what I'm seeing too, Vodka, that the shot apparently came from one of the buildings. And again, that there's no footage already, because we've seen everything. Like, the footage is out there. This event, Charlie Kirk had cameras up, all surrounding him, facing the crowd. Like, there's more evidence than God if they need the person. If the person's part of the crowd or related to the crowd in any way, outside of that, it's going to be a lot.
It was either really lucky by somebody on the ground who is not a professional, or it was the alternative. It's
Yeah.
let me
It's
put
not
it this
gonna
way:
be good.
having looked at the footage, it is very clear that it was so well placed that he never realized what happened.
No,
far as Charlie-
he probably didn't know. Though doesn't
Charlie
know.
Kirk just stopped mid sentence into his microphone. That's what it looked like.
I mean, yeah, if you haven't, I don't recommend watching up close footage. But
don't look it up. Don't look it up. You get
It's
the
not
idea.
good. It's not good. But the thing when we're talking about all this that is really a big deal to me is when people start talking about the violence of one side versus the other, how this works, how we start immediately presuming sides and guilt, the horror
Thank you,
of things. That's like,
Hang on.
what's up?
Maybe turn the notifications off for now. But thank you, appreciate it.
Did it notify? I didn't hear it.
Yeah. Oh, you can't hear it, can you?
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Then you're they probably can't hear it anyway. You're probably fine. I've got it in the fold turned on. I've got in the fold notifications turned on. I've turned it off on my end.
Where was I? Oh, we just had not terribly long ago, 2 months, 2.5 months, the Minnesota legislators shootings, where multiple political assassinations are becoming a thing in every single way right now. And the ramping up of this is an uncommon level of this.
Charlie Kirk is also, like, we've talked about, like, Donald Trump being targeted. We've talked about insurance CEO being targeted. We've talked about people in government being targeted. Charlie Kirk is a glorified content creator. Like, that's the level we're talking about here. This isn't like somebody who's like high up in a position of power or authority. This is a guy who just does like campus appearances. This is at a popular level, right?
Yes.
He's a darling. He's a darling of the right wing, to be sure, but he's not like.
I think it's fair to say that he's more than just a simple content creator, given how he's existed and how he's dealt with Trump and the others. I think it's okay to talk about.
I agree with that, but I mean, like, he's like a Nick Fuentes type. Like, he's higher profile, but he's like that. You know?
Yeah. No. He is like that, but I think when we're talking about the last 6 months to a year, the amount of political violence is more than I've seen in America in my lifetime. Like, just flatly, like this is a lot in just a couple months, and the rhetoric, the ramping up of it across the board, from Luigi to this to other things, is a lot.
Yeah,
and I think as people are talking about this, it's going to be I think it's going to be horrifying to watch, because you'll see people who will certainly on the right, people are going to contort themselves in any position to talk about how political violence is just always wrong, and then they're going to cheer out in the next whatever thing. But on the left, you'll also see people making the same shitty comments, Luigi comments, things like that, where they're cheering this on. And again, it's not a thing to be cheered on, like just flatly. The reality of how complicated this is.
You are cheering on the manufacture of a tool of your own destruction. That's
correct.
That's what you're cheering on, and you're helping lubricate it by doing that, in your own tiny way. And
yes.
You also don't matter. So don't feel too guilty about it if you did already. But like bluntly, this does not hurt the right. There's the people it hurts are everybody you care about. And that's it. Trump was salivating this morning, I guarantee you.
No. I think...
You disagree?
I think he'll be very happy afterwards, but I don't think anyone is necessarily happy as it's happening. I've watched people take advantage of dead people quite often, and there is still... Death is one of those things that there's very few people who they don't react to it at all. And I'm not inclined to believe everyone's at that level. I think there's going to be a shock because these people knew each other. There's going to be a horror to it. And then the arousal is not really directed at Charlie Kirk's death, but more the righteousness of justice. And that will be the arousal that they're probably already feeling. It doesn't take a lot, but I think
it can be both.
I mean, again, he's a person. They've had dinner together. Yeah. They've hugged each other's children. Like they got baby photos. Like,
yeah, we're talking about Trump, though. To be clear,
I don't think Trump is that level of like pure robotic sociopath. I think you say. I don't think he's there. I mean, I don't think he's there significantly. I think people around him. Stephen Miller. If you said Stephen Miller would be excited from the get go. But I think a lot of people are just kind of like, oh fuck, because that's the other thing. This is implicated on all of them. This is not just simply, oh, this is some guy. This is, and the implication is all these newscasters, all these pundits, all these people, they are. And that includes you and me. Like if people on the left don't realize that the response to this or blowback to this is guaranteed, like this is, everyone is now up for grabs. Like that's, am I wrong? Like that's.
All I was thinking was when I saw this is like, oh, hey, you know who was following around Charlie Kirk for the last few months?
Yeah.
On Fuck America, desperate for an engagement with him. It's like,
yep.
Hey guys, just so you know, that's what's whizzing by on the platform you're all scrambling to get on top of.
And
that's where we're at right now.
And as I'll always say, that the first thing everyone should do is have the human moment before they move to the political, because the reality of the person and the reality of how everyone deals with stuff, like Cosmo posts in, and I think it's a fair comment. Trump is dealing with death. Now, the day he dies, I may have a party. If he is assassinated, much less so. There's a reason that you handle things differently in different ways for me, but like the violence of death, the reality of it, people experience, and they experience very directly. And the worry and nervousness I have at this point is very focused on what then next, who comes next, how do things move, what do we do? How is the response going to be handled? And then how can we respond? Because the response at this point is going to be anti-gun. Like that's going to be the really interesting thing, is we're going to actually watch Republicans disable the ability for people to bring guns to protests, and Republicans will cheer that on. And at that point, where do we start actually going when it comes to how resistance can operate and how we can move? It's going to be really that's going to be, I think, the slow burn of this. It's going to be a few days of everyone talking about Charlie Kirk, the family man, how, or the Democrats saying, well, this is what happens when you have violent rhetoric. Violent rhetoric makes this happen, which they'll say for 20 minutes and then they'll never really think about again. It's going to be awful, but it's going to be interesting.
I think the puzzle here is, so there's sort of two sides to whenever we're talking about stuff like this, which is on the one hand, we'll talk about like here's how, let's figure out how we should respond to events like this. But on the other, there's also the constant tacit and correct acknowledgement that, by the way, no matter what the correct response is, uh, the large numbers of people will brute force the case that that correct response was never on the table. There is not there is a wave that will happen, and that's it. And that's not, by my lights, like necessarily a given, but it is the situation. And I wonder if the actual question is there some kind of cultural interference that can be begun that adjusts how people react to this kind of thing? Obviously, we're conditioned in particular kinds of... Because here's the thing, too. There's two kinds of people who react in a Fed-posty way to stuff like the Charlie Kirk shooting. That's people who are genuinely gleeful about it, and there's people who watch and associate with people who are genuinely gleeful about it, and they want to be in on it.
I think there's the third. It would be people who have a genuine resentment built up over what is absolutely a career of Charlie Kirk, of destroying the rights of minorities and marginalized people, of creating hate and being responsible certainly for the spawning of a lot of physical violence or fear. And I think
the first one, maybe when I said gleeful, that gave it like a particularly negative connotation, but that's kind of who I'm thinking of when I think of the first play. Like I don't think that like Charlie Kirk like specifically deserves pity and sympathy that he absolutely gave to nobody else.
Which I'm with that. I don't think I honestly, Charlie Kirk isn't the person. Like, again, think of the human side of it. I don't really, again, Charlie Kirk's gone. He's not around no more, but his kid, his wife, the people around him who were expecting to see him at dinner tomorrow, or that like as much as he was a demagogue, and he very much was, he still had like the rest of that social life. And the rest of that is going to be a hole in a lot of people's lives that's going to have to be filled with something. Yeah. Being gleeful and excited that happened, less so. But
there's a line that I really like. I can't remember if it's from Nietzsche or if it's from Klosowski, but it's stuck with me. It's like the means prevail over the ends, and like there's a thing that happens, and I think people like people talk about like whether it's moral or immoral to like take joy in like somebody else's demise. I think that's beside the point. I think the problem though is that if you accustom yourself to having like zero human sympathy, whether or not you give like a pragmatic purpose to it, like, oh, you need to be able to hate your enemies so you can destroy them. It's like, well, at a certain point, this situation, those enemies, the matter of fact about things, that will pass away, but your habits will persist beyond that.
True, and to echo,
you'll be a monster on the other end at some level.
And to echo Queen of Swords, I think that's probably the best way to put it. If you get to feel however you feel about it, when you take those feelings and you give them voice and you create the simulacra of communication that is communicating it, that it's a good thing to other people, that you're advocating for that you think this is good and I have to tell the world about it. Like it's the new fucking greatest way to, clean your clothes or the best way to cook a pie. You've got problems. That's where, again, feel however you feel. I know some people who've directly interacted with Charlie Kirk who probably have a little bit more relief in their life, or because of, the fan group around him and what he did to harass people is horrifying. But if they're like, oh God, I'm so relieved, this is so good, you're fucking up. You're fucking it up.
On the plus side, band's back together. We're doing the fold again. So that's
we'll try to do this once in a while. We just need a horrifying tragedy that's going to lead to martial law and ultimately World War III. That seems to be the things that bring us together.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah.
I
think the other half of it is, I think there's a reality that we're not going to see I think a path we have to be ready for is that we're not going to see a resolution to this that's meaningful.
Oh God, no. No, this is going to be...
Like, we're not going to get, hey, they arrested Dave. Like, it's
and
not...
Then it's over. No, this is now a thing. Because here's the thing. And this is what people need to understand. It's like, whoever they arrest, just to be clear, the culprit is you. That's who they're going to be pointing the finger at forever. It's you. This is just some crazy person, maybe the weakest and the dumbest, maybe the most pathetic and the most to be sympathized with of all of you, because they were obviously impressionable enough to go and do something crazy.
Yes.
But all of you were spreading the poison that made them do it. That's going to be the narrative. And that's going to be used to target all of you as if you were that person and as if
Absolutely.
that was somebody who deserved it much less. That's how it's going to go.
And it's actually the thing, when we talk about that, it's going to be, because it's not going to stay broad. I don't think it's going to land where it's like trans people are at fault or this. It's going to
by the way, just before you continue with that too, just to finish that thought, in addition to all of this, just to lend credence to what we were speculating about before, there's a suspicious overlap between all of the people who will be targeted as a result of this and all the people who are critical of Israel.
There's
just saying.
It's the number one thing I'm seeing pop up already on the. I have a few weird Facebook accounts and some random accounts because I like to keep track of extremists. I'm already seeing that this is being blamed on the IDF and Israel, and that this is because he's just started talking as he did. This is going to be, Fuentes is really going to be pushing this, and whether or not there's accuracy there, which I wish I could say there was no chance, but the last 24 hours, it's going to be really, really, really awful. Like it's going to be so bad.
And I think that's like it keeps refracting the more you think about it, because it's like, at the end of the day, we're in a weird space where the nature of the event is it basically means anything and everything that we've already canvassed, not as alternatives, but all at once. Is it going to be used to target critics of Israel? Yes. Is it going to be blamed on Israel? Yes. By the same people.
Yeah, they'll again, this is the reactionary mindset is to find the way to blame and weaken at the same time. I mean, that's the core of anti-Semitism. At the base of it is that they're always the strongest and weakest. They're the least couth, but most cunning. Like that's the setup. And I think the timing of things, the weirdness of things, there's just too much shit around that. But even just using it as an example, because I don't think that has much credence in reality. I think lone shooters and stochastic shooters seems to be the running gag in America for the last 25 years. But with that example of a very targeted, specific conspiracy theory is going to become across the board the way that people, I think, begin talking about this and handling this, where it's not going to be broad. If it was just, I almost would rather they were just like, it's the progressives or it's the Dems. Like if that was just how they talked about this, I'd almost prefer that. But it's going to end up becoming, it's this group, and they're going to go super deep on some specific creator. And again, this is not going to be the last of this. These things have been ramping up over the last few months. It's getting worse. That's the part that scares me the most, because that's when you start getting everyone detached from reality. There's no discussion about it, no talking about these things. There's no, hey, how do we actually solve this? Hey, can we move forward as a thing? Because both sides then become so scattered and spread and galvanized that there's no way to do it.
How dumb were you when you were at the end of just out of high school, Brooks? Like compared to yourself now? Just I'm going somewhere with this, but how would you compare yourself now to back then? Probably pretty dumb, right? Like I'd probably say I was pretty freaking dumb back then.
I recently got a lot of shit from someone for talking about being the old man and that kids don't know better, but I didn't know better.
But, I mean, both of those statements are true, though.
It's one of the hardest things about life is by not having life experience, you have a significant amount of ability to see more potential than people who have more experience. However, because of the lack of experience, you also can do less with that potential. So it kind of fucks us up. But I was a dumbass in a lot of ways.
Charlie Kirk was 31. And I'm just,
I know.
I think about like the thing that produces these people. And it's like, I was like conservative when I started my channel. 5 years ago, and I was not a paid shill. I was not. I didn't have like all conflicts of interest motivating me. I had a whole bunch of like obviously emotional hangups and so on and so forth. It was not a
Mm-hmm.
it was not a well reasoned position. It was coming from a place of this is what is comfortable to me. This is what I've received from like family and specifically the toxic media they were consuming at a certain point, certain formative point in my life. Um, but like if I, for example, uh, was suddenly in my late teens, early 20s, like being supplied with tremendous amounts of money and exposure and praise for hammering home and like really doubling down on those positions, which is well, I don't think I would ever grow out of that situation. And I don't think I would have the wherewithal to think my way out of that situation either. And not because I lack the mental capacity, not because I wouldn't know at some deep level that, hey, I could probably like look into things a little bit harder. I could actually be fair or whatever. But because like fundamentally,
Well, no, imagine that you're there
yeah.
and it's, again, this is,
no,
you're 21, 20, 18,
yeah,
and a fucking 70-year-old comes up to
Yeah.
you who's got millions of dollars and is like, hey,
Yeah.
I really like what you're doing. Why don't I give you a bunch of money? You start a group with me and let's build it up.
uh-huh.
And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Bill Montgomery did. That's Bill Montgomery built Turning Point and put Charlie Kirk in the spot he was. He was nowhere without that. And without if someone gives you millions of dollars to do this,
I mean,
it's
like
a whole
look,
thing.
Elon.
And again, as an example though, Bill Montgomery, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to kind of chuckle about because he died of COVID. And that is ironically funny. Sorry, that one is. Charlie Kirk, less so.
Elon Musk was responding to a tweet saying there are no good philosophers anymore in current year, or whatever, something like that. And he said, "Well, Rudyard Lynch has potential. Rudyard Lynch has just gone on like a 10-hour, not just gone, but a little while ago went on a 10-hour or so series of videos in which he basically laid out a potential history of severe sexual abuse by members of his family, um, and detailed what is very clearly like evidence of a psychotic break of some kind as a consequence of being given some kind of mystery drug that he thinks is ayahuasca by somebody he probably met through like a
No shit.
teal associate. And like I think here's the thing, like people like Charlie Kirk are a blight on the earth, and they're a vector for targeting people who are already being like massively persecuted. However, there's an additional factor to all of this, and it really speaks to just how like demented the system as a whole is. Um, these people are all being groomed into these positions,
Yes,
like
they
from
are.
very young. Like we're not like Trump is a demented, evil, lying hack with too much money and power for that kind of person. Um,
They're flying flags at half mast across the country right now by
yeah,
order of Trump.
but yeah, but like just to be clear, like Charlie Kirk is like I wouldn't give myself much credit 3 years ago.
No.
Um,
No, at 31, I mean, I had barely started my career.
Yeah.
I'd barely begun doing real work.
yeah,
And I was an idiot. Like
Yeah.
but again, when people are being groomed and put in these positions early on, especially because Charlie Kirk, like the running joke for Charlie Kirk was that he was kind of like those actors in their 30s who play high school kids. He was put in the position of, hey, here's what we want to be aiming at. We need someone who's going to get the kids. And so they aim at that and they put people in these positions and these people are paid there. And it's the rewarding of reactionary behavior with millions of dollars is pretty attractive. And again, the big thing people are sharing and have been sharing since he got shot is photos of him with his kids. I'm sure he was a lovely dad. I have no reason to believe otherwise. The human side of this, the way that these systems work and the way that they build up towards these things, this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. Man.
Yeah, there's a Wikipedia page says was now. What a
Well, Wikipedia has his death on it now.
oh yeah oh Wikipedia has everyone's death on it already. They just flick a button. Um,
And I'm not seeing, like, it's, again, the discourse is what it is. We now have a social media that is, and you were kind of going over this. Just to start by talking about what Twitter, X, Threads, whatever the fuck, all of those micro messaging platforms, the Twitter clones, they're all the most reactionary that they've ever been. Like, they're all cesspools now. They're all pretty much useless. They're all crap. And with that, the discourse, which has always been not exactly great, is being focused more and more and more. I would argue the same is being done with YouTube. I think Facebook is a safe bet. The Facebook pages I'm on are filled with excessively anti-democrat violent rhetoric, like crazy shit that I'm shocked isn't just automatically being taken down. But hey, that's how that goes. The way all of this is building is going to be so fucked up. It's going to be so bad over the next 24 hours that's the thing I think for me that's most important to be watching. That scares me outright.
People need to start imagining that you're a dissident in China a little bit, and be a little bit savvy in terms of how you express your thoughts and your feelings on certain issues. Not in terms of like censoring yourself, not in terms of like feigning sympathy, but like Fed posting. You were in an era where at the push of a button, thousands and thousands of people can just be erased, and you'd never know about it. Just, oh, look at all those voices just gone. Like that, you've just been depersoned. Stop doing that. All these people on Blue Sky, like, who are like, oh yeah, right, who are like cheering about this. It's like, I'm not offended at the sentiment. I get it. That's really stupid. Because all of you guys are using this as your primary means of communication and of organizing a political commentary, whatever, of talking to each other. You are creating a perfect justification for you to just be en masse, just removed, and nobody would care. Why? Because who are they targeting? The freaking Democrats. They're targeting the mainstream. You guys are like the relatively radical ones, and they can just, there's a weird little sound over there. It's gone now. How about that?
Yeah, it's really, and again, the vileness of all of this.
Yeah.
Where it's just going to be side versus side. And again, this is why I think it's, we've been talking a while. It's why I don't believe that there is a left. I don't like using the term. I think all this is awful. But this is going to be just more team building. And I really just, man, it's going to be fucking gross. Because the words they're using is like, it's not that he was shot. They've already started using across the board in all these reports, assassination. And assassination is exceptionally loaded language that somehow doesn't get used with the Minnesota shootings, for example. They don't talk about the Minnesota assassinations, but they were explicitly political assassinations to tilt. It's like,
a crazy person. How do you get a gun? Attacked some Minnesota Democrats. What? Damn, that's scary. Wow, weird. With Charlie Kirk, it's like, no, this was an event.
Yeah. It was.
And
they're going to figure out.
Yeah.
It's going to be the way that we've seen Trump operate like this in the past. They had the in Portland during BLM. They had that guy who was accused of killing one or two other people, and they sent the marshals in to kill him. And Trump said he told him not to bring him in alive. We're going to start seeing shit like that, I think, a lot more too. And that feels like this is going to be.
Oh, people are going to feel really good about that for a little bit. Not us, but a lot of people are going to feel really, really excited about that kind of thing happening. I remember, and I'm a Canadian, I'm not even in your country. I remember when 9/11 took place, and the headlines were "America Strikes Back," and people were pumped. We didn't even know anything. We didn't even know anything about the people who were being retaliated against. This is most of us our first exposure to the existence of wow, there are people in Afghanistan. Wow, that's crazy. I thought it was just like Dune over there, and that's literally where the headspace was at. That's what it's going to be like for a little bit.
It is, And again, the bots and everything are tearing it up. Yeah, I'm reading wonderful little tweets as I'm refreshing that are clearly bots saying things like Obama shoots and kills Charlie Kirk and fakes arrest of a white man. That's a fucking sentence. But this is not one person saying this. There's, in my feed as I refresh, here's 5 or 6 that have this. This is being reposted and reposted and reposted, and it's people saying this, and it's like, this is the nightmare we've built, is these bots who probably don't know any better. I can't imagine someone wrote that for them.
And by the way, you know what the cherry on top of all this is? Fuck me. I just made an offhanded reference to like Destiny and the Unfuck America tour following Charlie Kirk trying to get an engagement. Destiny's been framed by his popular media appearances as a leftist. Destiny's been celebrating deaths of rando conservatives in mass shootings already. We've got footage of him like bragging about how he planned to like assassinate somebody who was fucking with his internet, like a kid and his dad. All that shit's going on. Like, oh my god, this is a
What?
propaganda.
Yeah.
Gold mine. God fucking damn it.
It's going to be
Did
across
Stephen
the board.
Bennell shoot Charlie Kirk? No.
Of course
Stephen
not.
Bennell, though, is going to be the model for you, and they're going to blame you for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've made this easy. Now, again, I'm not even saying they shouldn't make it easy for them, because this is going to be the kind of thing that's going to end up getting, it doesn't really matter. They don't need an easy layup. But being able to have that, being able to use that, and again, being able to use that as they need, because the strategy is going to be, as they announce, and they've already started claiming this one guy who's like a Canadian activist is apparently the guy who was arrested. They don't look anything alike. People who have face blindness seem to be the first people to hunt people down on Twitter every single time. But as they do this, they basically begin the search by searching for the type of person, and they will do it over and over and over until something sticks, until something becomes the larger story. This is how the right has done things daily and yearly, and will continue to do things. It's really going to be, again, it's going to be a lot of reaction, and I am not excited about it. And there's no new news on this. There's nothing new coming. They are searching for the guy. Like, how the fuck do we not have anything on? Yeah, no, by the way, there's a shooter who's now loose.
Here's something.
Like, how is that not the top thing? Like, however you feel about Charlie Kirk, like, he was shot, but there's not, hey, by the way, manhunt underway. By the way, we've got 50 cops searching for the guy.
Here's why, Brooks, because there's 2 options here. It's a trans person, or it's some rando. They're going to pretend it's a trans person while they can. Or it's not some rando. And do you want to be the person saying, "Hey, let's go hunt down this person who's not a rando"? I'm just saying, like,
I'm just wondering what the fuck the police are doing and why. And like,
I mean, they're American police. They're probably thinking the same thing. What they have no idea how to do it. Like, this isn't CI. It's what the fuck, CSI? Like, they have no fucking clue. They have footage of a guy, or they don't have footage of a guy. If the person like managed to evade being on camera, either because he was using a long distance weapon or because he just got lucky, like, they got nothing. That's it.
Yeah, no, they got nothing. They have their video, but they have reports of actually people watching as the Utah SWAT guys are clearing buildings. Apparently, they've cleared all the buildings. That's it. So TAC teams have like cleared buildings, and they just don't have anyone.
And the thing of it is like, even if they do find a long-range weapon, that doesn't narrow it down.
No.
Who was the guy who shot at Trump? It was some random kid who had his dad's gun. Like,
yeah.
Although, this gave me a dark little laugh.
Well, there's a few that did it for me, but I'm going to avoid doing any of those on screen.
Oh, it's not laughing at Charlie, to be fair.
Oh no. Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
I don't want to. I can't.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just
I can't
saying.
mentally handle things. People are
Yep.
fucked up and they're broken.
Yep.
And
Yes, they are.
Jesus, hard pass, just hard pass. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Sorry, you stun-locked me with a tweet.
Do you want to just show it?
No, I do not. I don't want to get involved with these people. I don't want to talk about these people. You can do that later, or you can do it after I get off stream. How's that?
That's fine. I'm not going to do it. So what I was going to bring up though is more seriously is that apparently they're vetting on an individual basis now on Destiny's subreddit every single post that's made, because Reddit's admins have been reaching out. And I think one of the things you're also going to be seeing, and we've seen this across the board already, that increased censorship and that increased targeting of anybody who can be like thematically associated with anybody who is thematically associated with the shooting of Charlie Kirk. That's not going to require Trump to bring the hammer down. All these companies are going to be doing it by themselves in advance.
Yeah.
And then maybe he will in addition. So like anyone who's looking at this and cheering and is like super excited is like, yeah, it's like they're stupid. In no universe is this anything but, like, the best you can hope for at this point is they fail to use it as far as they can.
Well, they don't need to, and that's the
thing.
That's the thing underneath it. Because I was, like I said before all of this, I spent the morning on with the documentary crew, and it was a really interesting discussion. I've talked to a lot of documentary crews over the years who are trying to figure out how to tell the story of Columbine and all of this, and one of the things that sort of keeps continually happening is as people go back to the well, they just want to retell the exact story. But the question is, how do we, and we've spent time talking about, how do we talk about like this as an event that is something that became decisive for others? It's one of the reasons I did my video when April 20th rolled around this year. Because when these events happen, we socially begin creating the narrative of what they are and what they mean and what they meant. And with that, we then find other events that go in line with that, and we put them in order. And as something else happens or should happen, we find stochastic violence and other things that takes the place of that does the thing. It's one of those, again, it's one of the reasons I'm worried about political violence sort of continuing to happen here, because this type of thing, because it is someone who was out in semi-public, because it's someone who is outspoken, but not the most vitriolic. Like as far as shit goes, he wasn't Nick Fuentes, right?
Don't play this with sound. Just sorry to do this to you. Don't play this with sound to show it on the screen. Make sure it's not playing with sound, but I want to look at this quickly. You're going to want to scroll down to when someone says couple of videos showing potential shooter prone on campus roof.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be bad because it's going to be not aiming at.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it on my phone so that way none of it comes across.
No, hang on. Look at this. I'll show you a screenshot.
I got it open.
Yeah, but like I'll just preview here.
I don't
look at this.
Yep. That seems Yeah.
Looks like in a follow-up video, there's somebody running across their roof.
So the story goes where it seems that the shot came from. It's possibly that looks like the building that someone did an overhead of. It's 200 yards.
Yeah.
That's not an easy shot. That's not an easy shot.
What's more is like the footage actually shows the crowd from the front. It looks like there is very clearly somebody running on the roof.
Shit, there is. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Well, that's weird. That...
Right? That's weird. Not a couple people chilling on a roof. One person chilling on a roof, running away immediately afterwards. One person, presumably, who's the farthest away from the front. They would be, I would assume, one of the last to react. They'd have the hardest time seeing. They probably feel like they're at a safe distance. They can observe. You know, like if I'm like sitting down there and I hear a shot and I see like someone go down, I'll probably like, okay, time to go. But if you're like way over there, why would you be?
It's tough to know.
Yeah.
Tough to know. I'm hesitant to know about that one.
No, I don't think it's a false flag. That doesn't seem likely.
No. I think false flag is simply wrong. I hate any time that happens. And the discussion around that occurs in that way.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not seeing the things people I think are seeing it in the same way. I have a different side of it, but that's okay.
what are you looking in chat, or are you looking at the thing I sent you?
No, I'm looking at things you sent me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, don't trust that analysis.
No, there's shapes. They're not.
By the way, apparently I went black.
Really?
I'm not showing up on your screen anymore.
It shows you as showing up on my screen.
No,
Oh, now you're black again.
Yeah.
Now
Although I'm taking up more space of the screen while black, so.
You were.
Good. Well done.
What in the fuck? Weird.
No, I'm black.
You didn't disappear in OBS, so I don't know what the fuck.
It might be if you're like pulling a full screen application up, that might be like cutting.
That would probably do it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I'll stop doing that.
OBS is weird like that. That's why I have two monitors.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm hesitant to any of that shit. But again, as we watch, I think the things to be watching for, and it's the big deal for me, is how the rhetoric shifts. And I know already a bunch of the OSINT guys are watching and keeping an eye on a lot of these people and having this discussion at this larger way, which I think is important. I think watching that and keeping an eye on how that rhetoric grows over the next 24 hours to 48 hours, I wouldn't do public appearances personally, like especially larger guys. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
There's no footage, Heather.
Like...
There's no footage, Heather. There's no footage.
Yeah.
Until we say otherwise, there's no footage. Heather's in the chat. She's also a little bit anxious about trying to find all of this stuff and figure it out.
Where's the footage of someone running on the roof? Well, there is footage of someone running on the roof. We just don't know who it is.
I'm not sure it's someone running on the roof. No, we'll discuss it off. We'll discuss it off screen. I'm uncertain about a lot of things in it.
Okay.
Because I don't. Yeah. Because there's the timing of all of this, and again, this is where we start talking about like the timing of all of this, how this can be used, as Trump is about to or is already going into Chicago, as he has his thugs going into multiple cities. Utah is one of those that's ostensibly very right-wing. I would almost hope that he would immediately send in the National Guard across all of Utah. There's a lot of people there who do not want that. But it's going to be a nightmare. And on top of everything, we escalated everything with Israel and Qatar 24 hours ago. Yep. So Trump's in a nightmare position. We did something that is, as far as I'm concerned, maybe one of the more evil acts of war Trump did this before when he killed Iran's main guy. He ostensibly got them to meet at a peace conference, gave the details up to Israel, who then struck him and killed him. And we were very happy to kill Soleimani. This time around, we got the leadership of Hamas to agree to peace talks and demanded they be in a particular building, which we then told Israel about, and they bombed it again.
Yeah.
The use of peace talks to kill your political enemies is basically as awful as you could possibly do.
Oh, you made it so that there's actually no capacity whatsoever outside of like total extermination for a cessation of the conflict.
Yeah, and on top of it, Qatar, I think, showed their ass because they bought a $500 million plane for Trump and still got a strike that killed a bunch of people. So,
And here's the thing too, amidst all of this, and I keep thinking about this, like, you know what the weirdest thing is about the Charlie Kirk shooting? We've talked about like how much like political assassinations of this kind of like started to become a bizarrely regular occurrence.
Yes,
they're also
starting to get more and more.
Yes, but also it's really slow. When you think about like how much is being fucked with, how many people are being told constantly, you have nothing to lose now. How many people for whom that's actually the case? How many different parties have a visceral constant interest in these people having this happen to them? This immense, dense fog where you literally could not guess who does any of this unless you actually have the man that you catch.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm astonished that this isn't like a much more regular occurrence at this point. It's kind of baffling that it's taken this long for something like this to happen. I don't know if we've been tremendously lucky or if there's like, if we really are just like that, culturally resistant to that kind of thing. But it's like,
No. The thing is, I think most people are pretty much very resistant to stochastic violence or taking it out. One of the things that, mass shootings are common in the U.S., it is important to remember statistically, the act of doing it is incredibly uncommon. The act of being in one is incredibly uncommon. These things require a perfect storm of events, and the way that ramps up and the way that rhetoric grows accelerates significantly immediately following a major profile event like this. So this is the thing that does make this more regular, but it's all about how the media handles it. The right-wing media downplayed the Minnesota shooting so fast. It was insane. That was a guy literally saying that he was out to kill Democrats, and no one ran with it. No one chased it. No one made a big story out of it. And it kind of went away pretty quick. People are aware of it, but it didn't stick around. This is going to be something that's milked on the right because they are that of a persecution complex. They exist in that space. And that's not being helped by the nightmare that is X, where people who are, I'm not even sure human, let alone Americans in any significant sense, or serious actors in any way, are posting animated memes. And Twitter's a pile of shit when it comes to like showing things. Like, I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share it first with you. I'm not showing anything awful, but I'm just going to share here so you can see it. Oh, there, back to that so you can see it. Sorry, Discord is a nightmare.
No, you're good.
Visually, I blocked your face.
Oh yeah.
So
like,
this is
people are making gag jokes about somebody like clutching their throat and like dying. It's like,
yes, but here's the thing. This is why when we talk about algorithms, when we talk about social media, 1 second, the window is Charlie Kirk's. When we talk about how social media functions, and I think this is the part that is important to remind people about, the way news is aggregated and set up. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm sharing it now to them so they can see what I'm talking about. And I'm just really slow. Come on. There, I can size that up. Here is just from the top. This is just when you click on the right that says Charlie Kirk's assassination shocks Utah event. It's trending in today's news. This is the feed of what I got. Do you see it? It's the same fucking thing.
Yep. Over and over again.
Hundreds of times. This is what X is serving people. This is what people are seeing from X. Was that a different? No, it's the same video. This is what everyone's doing and everyone's commenting on. It's literally like 1,000. There's a GIF response to the same video. I could just go like this. It's insane to me. This is not filtered. I didn't do this. Like this is just latest. Because that's what you click. I want to know more. Let me look. I click. I want to know more. So I hit latest. What's the latest? And this is the latest. And it's like, because bots and all of this stuff and the algorithm, they know exactly how to run it. So people who are curious, the only people left on X who have any meaningful existence are conservatives and right wingers. There's no lefties who are still on X are reactionaries. So what they're doing is just having their world reified and sent back to them. And let me refresh, see if it changes it up. Latest. Nope. No, it's different ones though. There it is again. It's like, and so this is what people are seeing when they go to look more. They see this not only lack of compassion, which it is. It's a stunning lack of compassion. But let's say you're like, you know what? I don't want to be compassionate for this guy because he's a piece of shit, which is fair. You don't have to be compassionate for this guy. He is a piece of shit. But what they're seeing is outwardly communicating the opposite of empathy, hatred, that he deserved it, that it's funny even.
You know what? Hatred, I could be okay with. You know what the thing that bothers me about it? It's not just hatred, right? It's like ghoulish, perverted joy in the fact of someone they weren't paying attention to, who they didn't hate. That's the part that bothers me. Like if it was someone like Netanyahu, Trump, Biden, like somebody like that, who's actually like a fixture that normal people recognize as a villain in their existence, as somebody who uses their power to do tremendously bad things to people and things that you care about. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you are filled with hatred. So something happens to one of them, you go out and you get a drink afterwards and you feel good. That's one thing. I get that. The part that disturbs me is when it's like, when was the last time any of these people talked about Charlie Kirk in all seriousness? Were they thinking about him up until this point?
No,
they saw blood shoot out of someone's neck and they were like, oh boy,
absolutely.
now we can do the thing. We can do the dance. It's like, but you didn't want to until now. What's going on?
Yeah, again, yesterday or this morning before it happened, Charlie Kirk was a demagogue. Like there's a word that's very easy to use for this. He is someone who is put on a pedestal to either hate the other side or to be hated by the other side. That's what he existed at. You're black again?
Yeah.
That's racist. What the fuck? I'm
sorry. Do you think it is racist to have a...
You just said you're black again, and I didn't know if you were doing like a Dolezal thing or something. I don't know. The whole like, he's a demagogue. He's someone to be not taken seriously as a person, I think would be how I'd phrase it. Like he literally exists to not be a whole person. He represents the change my mind bit bullshit, the college campus debate. He represents the guy with this tiny face or big head, whatever you want to say. Like he does these things. And it's like, and that position he's in is what people have been reacting to. It's why people chase him around and followed him and did the, like you were talking about, the following around and like actually debating him thing, because they joined in that silly media circus bullshit that feeds itself. And again, but he's not a person. He is a media personality. He's an actor at best.
Shai Hulud just said that my black screen was my Justin Trudeau impression. That's what I was laughing at.
That's not bad.
That was pretty fucking good.
That's not bad.
That was pretty good. That was not bad. That was pretty good. I'm sorry.
No, Change My Mind was Crowder, but that's what I'm saying. It's the same shit.
It's that kind of culture. It's that kind of thing. Like the whole like show up at a college campus, give a talk that's spicy for libs and nobody else really cares.
His shtick was prove me wrong, right? That was his shtick was prove me wrong.
I don't know, actually. I don't
Pretty sure that's what was on the tent. Pretty sure that was what was written on the tent. I think so.
So I guess that's the question. Was he wrong?
Prove me wrong. Yeah, that's what's written on the tent. American comeback. Prove me wrong. Yeah. And it's like, yeah. Yeah.
So who? I think we've exhausted it.
Have we?
A little bit, for the time being.
I think so.
I kind of want to go out and think for a little bit and probably like write up a little like video with my thoughts on it. I'll go up tomorrow. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
I've got to think
do that too. I think that'd be useful.
No one is saying Charlie Kirk didn't have power and influence. The way he had power and influence was not by being himself an advocate. Like, there's a really important sort of setup when it comes to this shit, because when we talk about a person having power, Hassan has power and influence. Destiny has power and influence. Charlie Kirk, power and influence. These people are influencers, and quite literally. The difference between that and someone who's like an actual political person who's doing the thing, Stephen Miller. Yeah. Let's contrast Stephen Miller and Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk and Stephen Miller are not the same thing. And they don't enact the same thing, and they don't act the same way. And they don't, like, again, he is a caricature. He always was a caricature. And that was his position. It's why the rich, wealthy right-wingers around the Tea Party put him in the position they did. Yeah. Like, the guy who helped found TPUSA with him was a failed Tea Party asshole who was like, well, they didn't go as extreme right as I wanted, so I want you to help me make it more extreme right. That's what he did, and so they did. And that setup that's happening there, they had influence, but none of them were the politicians. None of them were the capital behind it. Their influence and power was not so much so that if Charlie Kirk
he's like a lesser Jordan Peterson in a way. Like not like with like that kind of stature specifically, but like he's that kind of figure where his entire existence is. Like the power that he has, kind of it. It's not.
But if he had like a pet project, he would not be able to get traction on it. Like, he's not that thing. If he suddenly went, unless it's already in line with the power structure. But if he had his own, where it's like, hey, actually, in this case, I really think it's important that, for example, if he were to fight for IVF, he wouldn't talk about it. Like, that would, because that is against his thing.
He's you know what he is? He's a low quality like Temu version of the jester that the actually powerful person sort of brings along to kind of like lubricate their interactions with the rabble. That's what he is. He's a cheerleader. He has quote unquote influence, but the influence that he has doesn't really belong to him.
No, he exists as part of the machine, and that's all he ever was. I mean, again, he started this shit fresh out of high school before he even had a personality or was able to develop one, and this was developed for him. He was great.
Not so Oedipus asks in the folder, you guys are going to talk about his support for genocide. Well, fortunately, he stopped supporting genocide, so we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, his support for genocide has
he changed his mind today. He's not for genocide at all anymore. Okay.
It's a fair statement. It's not worth going back over. None of those things, until we know the cause of it, the thing of it. People have bad opinions. People have good opinions. Celebrating the death of people is difficult and not a thing that I think should be done, especially when it's something that can literally be about blowback, because actions move in that direction. If someone dies naturally, or say a stroke takes them over a weekend and we don't see them all weekend and we laugh because they're dying, it's a different story than this. This is not That won't blow back on strokes. Donald Trump dying won't blow back on McDonald's cheeseburgers and Diet Coke. This is going to blow back on everyone else who is in opposition to him because of how this works.
Framing Kirk as a glorified jester just because he was not directly a policymaker is silly. Trump himself partially credited Kirk with the results of the 2024 election. I'm not saying he was merely a jester in the sense of being wall decoration. He serves a function in the power structure. Like, he does do a thing. The point, though, is that he himself doesn't have. Shai Hulud put it very well. He doesn't have levers of power. Like, he himself, as a persona,
he's a conduit.
It's like look, when I move my arm, there's a little sinew somewhere in here that's pretty essential to my arm moving the way it does, but that's not responsible for the whole thing. That's where he's at.
Yep. Glenn Beck, random people on Fox News. These people are, they're contributing to the world being worse, certainly. Yeah. But the idea that they're doing the thing, or they're the fount, or the thing that is worth, it's just not accurate across the board. Like, he is someone who they will not miss in terms of the structure of power. They have other people.
No, other people who are hungrily wanting to get into that position who'd probably be better at it, frankly. And it'd probably be worse at it too. Like, you got a plethora, but like, Charlie Kirk is not irreplaceable. If Trump went, there would be radical change in terms of how the United States is governed.
Correct.
Charlie Kirk is not that.
No.
If something happens,
it won't even change how TPUSA functions.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's going to be the exact same thing. Like, if Charlie Kirk had a stroke, the outcome would be identical. There's no difference in terms of like how the right operates. They have a new toy now, which is now they have. Ooh, look at how crazy and evil our opponents are, because nobody's paying attention to the fact that there are so many right wingers who are actively killing people every single year.
Yeah, and I also just want to add, if you don't think, like, if you think by saying he is a jester that we're minimizing him into, I think the common misconception is that court jesters were just like the joke clown in the corner.
Hey, no, here's a great example.
That's not what jesters did. No. They were incredibly politically important to kings and courts and power structures in ways, like, there's a reason that he brings this up. Yeah. This is a real fucking thing. Jesters were absolutely there, that they were part of intelligence networks. They were part of breaking things apart. They were the loud transgressor on the outside. That is the thing they were allowed to be. And that's the setup they played.
People characterize Zizek, when they're annoyed at certain like public moves that he makes, as capitalism's court jester. They are not saying that he is useless. They are saying specifically that he is actually useful, but for the wrong side. That's the critique. I'm not interrogating that here specifically, but that's the claim that's being made. When you call somebody a court jester, you're not saying, oh, they're innocent. Oh, they're just along for the ride. No, what you're saying, though, is like, their role is not, they are not the center of power. They are a face that helps secure some part of that power, but they aren't decision makers. They aren't movers and pushers. They're the front end, the front facing part of a moving and pushing machine. They
were, and it's again why I think comparing Kirk to it is not an insult as much as people seem to think it is. Yeah. There's an edge to it, and I get that, but
it's kind of an insult, but yeah.
But the thing is, they would send court jesters existed to be transgressive. So if you had bad news to give the king, the jester would be the one to do it. And there's hilarious movies and Shrek and whatever about killing a jester. People didn't really do that. The jester was encouraged to be transgressive in order to create that space that enabled uncomfortable communication. But on the outside, it enabled the space to make sure that the king, who controlled the jester, flatly did. But the jester being allowed to be critical, the way Charlie Kirk's allowed to be critical of Trump, which he is, but it's in very specific ways, creates that room where it's like, well, look, we're not just a monolith. We actually have criticism inside of it. And Charlie Kirk played that role. But the idea that Charlie Kirk was anything more than that he was actually advocating or a fount of any concepts or ideas. He was in the conduit. He's not the capitalist structure. He's not the political power structure. He's not the hardcore religious right, even though they worked through him. It's really important as a difference. It's not trying to minimize his role in shaping things. It's minimizing the idea that he is and was a fount of any of this, or that as people who and again, on the left, that big thing in quotes people use these days, we should never be ascribing anything to single people, and we should be understanding the systematic nature that everything works together, because it doesn't matter, as Russia taught us, as China has taught us, as every revolution's taught us, whatever it may be. Revolution isn't the point. The question is what you do after, because until we figure out how to completely reorganize society, there's no fucking point. And violence like this just makes the state and makes those in power not only be justified and aroused to be justified in a really extraordinary way, and righteous justice that they will visit upon their enemies, like Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction shit moments. But the rest of us will end up having not only a harder time fighting, but a harder time just existing.
I think the point is not that Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was not important. Just as a general statement, he was not important. The role that he played is important.
Yeah,
but that could have been filled with any number of other bodies. Fundamentally, he doesn't matter. This was not a talented, intelligent, particularly driven person. This is a person who fell into a fairly middling spot that was relatively cozy for that kind of like he probably could have moved up to somewhere with some decision making power, maybe at some point in the future. Probably not, but maybe. But like realistically, he's one of a series of identical people, all of whom can be the exact same place. That's it. You can say that about a lot of public figures. Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
And actually, I would say that about all of them. If you believe killing baby Hitler would have stopped World War II and the Holocaust, you have a lot to learn about history and how society works. That these people...
It would have been a lot different. Don't get me...
How drastically different is a really interesting question. Because of the nature of... Like, it wasn't like he created everything and everything spawned from him. It's how these things exist in time, where the break happens. It's coming. The hatred was there. The anti-Semitic, the anti-homosexual, the anti-outsider views, the way that Germany had been completely destroyed. Like the material conditions were there. It didn't go, hey, Hitler found them. They found Hitler. The material conditions produced the world. And that's the case now. And it's why it's important for us to continually condemn violence of this type, because killing a person does nothing. Whether you think he is, and I think a lot of the stuff he believed and fought for is genuinely abhorrent. The reality is a person doesn't change anything, and it only makes everything more difficult for the people who are in marginalized positions. All of them. All of them. And I'm not seeing anything more interesting on all of this news. Like, I'm just not seeing anything.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This just hit me funny.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the tweet by Trump?
Which one? Has he done a couple? Because I know he did the one where he said, the great and even legendary Charlie. I saw that one. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to this. Does he even know how to type? It's so weird.
Well, I just think it's very generous of him to give Melania to the Kirk family.
It's it's very strange.
Melania and my he means
our sympathies.
Or Melania and I send our sympathies, or my and Melania's sympathies, but he writes, Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica and family. So I guess they've got a new domestic servant or something.
Yeah. And it's, again, the type of people who do celebrate this, be aware who they are. Charlie Kirk was one of them. Did you know that? Charlie Kirk multiple times talked about how the Second Amendment and doing this and taking people out was necessary, that you should cheer it on.
Did he say cheer it on? I think he said that some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to keep
he was pretty...
He said some gun death's worth it, I think is what the actual quote was. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like... I'm sure I've covered it at some point and forgotten. I wouldn't be surprised if he's... like said similar things like good riddance or whatever to people who have been attacked in that way.
should not be cheering
Like,
it on.
I'd be very surprised, for example.
I consider it being okay with it or happy about it. But yeah, it's fair.
Oh, 100% he'd be okay with it. I've said that already. Like, I don't think that's Lord Farquaad. Yeah, but it's actually not far from a paraphrase. Do you want to put that on the screen quickly, just so people know what we're talking about? It's a meme. Everybody's seen it, but it's worth
what?
It's worth showing it. The gun control.
He said it a bunch.
Yeah, there's a tweet that people have been sending around.
There's a bunch of tweets people have been sending around.
Worth it. Guns are worth it. Yeah, here we go. Hindustan Times. That's a reputable source. Getting a lot of Hindustan Times recommendations these days. But yeah, anyways. That Michael Burns video sucked.
You want to talk about Michael Burns for a minute?
Sure.
Because I can do some non-horrifying.
Let's talk about Michael Burns for a minute. I was yelling about it earlier, but mostly because
I saw a little bit. It's
well,
I saw it, and I saw Sadler's response as milquetoast as he always is. I mean, again, it's one of the things. I had a handful of people reach out to me after my conversation with Burns, because some people were like, "Wow, it was really aggressive." I was getting a few messages, and they were all from academia, and someone from academia, two people from academia wrote me, and they're like, "Hey, you should know, in academia, we actually don't do this." And I'm like, "But that's the point, is critiquing, isn't it?" And he's like, "No. No one does this because everyone is scared to upset the wrong person who might be in a position in a certain way." And so the people like Sadler, who are academics, he is an academic. He's not built to do critique. And it's one of the reasons, again, that he blocks people who, for example, compliment a casserole, or like me, say that they should unblock the guy who compliments a casserole. Because he doesn't have any ability to deal with people in any capacity. So this is maybe, as like in his world, a negative takedown, and it couldn't be more milquetoast and depressing.
But here's the thing, though. It's also not, because this is how you actually do a negative takedown in academia. Because you're right, that's a possibility. But here's the thing. The reason why they're scared that much is because those negative takedowns, those like publicly accessible signals, they don't happen. What happens is letters get sent or don't get sent. Nothing is ever on the surface, and doors close, and that's it. There's no, like, there are no buttons where you debate somebody and you win or you lose, and you do it with gentility or you don't do it with gentility or whatever. It's literally just, they feel like they might be threatened by you. The power in academia fundamentally comes down to somebody has control over the seats and the funds, and that's where it all boils down to. So it is survival of the pussiest, unfortunately, to a certain extent. It also requires a lot of grit to put up with that. So I wouldn't even characterize people who learn that as necessarily like being pussies, so to speak. But it's like that's the thing.
I kind of would.
Well, here's where I disagree. There are people, for example, that I know. In order to get into a position of influence where they can teach properly and so on and so forth, and they value other things in academia besides critiquing other academics. They value teaching, they value doing positive work, and so on and so forth. They have to eat a lot of shit to get there. I have a lot of respect for the grit it takes to survive that. However, when we're talking about people who go onto YouTube afterwards to leverage their credentials to make money off of like either shitty popular level books like Verso's been shilling out lately, or on YouTube like Michael Burns and PhilosophyTube do, that's different. Now they're just being weasels. And like
I still think like, again, we've got is it Carefree Wandering? Is that his name? The guy who did the takedown. The guy
in China, right? He's in China?
Yeah.
Or he's in Hong Kong?
He's an academic, actively an academic. And there are other people who are active academics who use that. And I think again, he critiques. I don't agree. No, he does. He does. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what I mean by like, it's why I think it's okay to say that it's kind of like, dude, Sadler, this guy literally goes on does no real philosophical content, and like Philosophy Tube is garbage, wall to wall, lies a lot, bullshits, and then says it's because it's YouTube, it's not my fault, which is just funny.
I can't get over this. It's like, hey, you know what? You know what movie line keeps going through my head every single time I see like one of these freaks just go like, oh, it's not my fault. We've reached the limit of Philosophy Tube as a project. It's like,
yes,
Socrates is able to build this in a cave.
Yeah, and of course, she did say, we've reached the limit of what Philosophy Tube as a project can do. Now, go subscribe to see what else Philosophy Tube as a project can do.
Racism, apparently.
It was really bad. I mean, people were writing me like, hey, you should do a follow-up video on the video she just released. I'm like, it's in there. Like, she released it. It was behind a paywall. Most people didn't know, but that video was released day and date with the other video. And it's horrifying. It's horrifying. And it's one of the more like...
I just can't get over... I'm sorry to like loop like this. I can't get over it. Like with a straight face going, guys, look, there's limits to what we can do when we're trying to perform a discipline that has consisted for thousands of years in literally nothing except talking, with a medium that does nothing but elevates our ability to talk to more people at once.
Just as a thought, I would say the medium of the written word, philosophy was able to exist in for hundreds, if not thousands of years in some capacity and continually evolve and new things be done with it. YouTube and online and video is on the extreme side, 120 years old, YouTube, 20 years old. So the idea that like we've already beaten the final boss of YouTube when the written word is still doing amazing shit after thousands of years is basically adorable.
No, apparently the final boss beat us, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
it's so stupid.
And it's like and here's the thing too. It's like, well, how do this is the bullshit about it. It's like, how do we balance doing philosophy and chasing the algorithm? It's like, you have a Patreon that pays you close to $10,000 American a month, specifically so you don't have to do that at all. That's the point. If you were getting the money from the algo, you wouldn't need the Patreon. You know who has like relatively low money on Patreon? Like people like Vosh and Destiny. They're getting most of their money from donations on stream. They're getting most of their money from the streams and from podcasts. They're not relying on Patreon.
I would even say though, chasing the algo as a meaning, like there's a point where you have to care about it. Like you and I, we talk about like what time would be a good, when do we release? Is it a morning thing? Does that help better? There's some
that is very much the wrong Destiny on Patreon. Oof. Okay, I'm scarred now. Sorry, continue.
But the thing about chasing the algo, you can't. Like the whole system is built in a way that is, and I just did a piece on Simondon on Monday that goes into this. The whole system isn't just an algo you chase. It is constantly changing based on the way users are using it. And so chasing the algo is basically like chasing the dragon after using heroin a few times. You're never going to reach it. You waste a huge amount of time and effort. And again, I don't believe they're doing that. I don't see a reason to believe that one of the top YouTube channels for philosophy on YouTube, Philosophy Tube, is chasing the algo. That's stupid. Michael Burns, who his content, he puts out a piece of content every 2 weeks. I can't imagine that's chasing the algo. He's not doing anything to chase it. If he was experimenting with thumbnails and types of content and doing lots more shorts or stuff, you could make that argument a little, but he's done very minor content. He's not experimenting across the board. He's not doing things that are working against him in some capacity. So he's lying when he says he's chasing the algo. He's making up a thing in front of him that's just, hey, by the way, my content is complete shit and I'm basically impotent to actually create anything of my own because I can't help but steal everything I come across and I don't have original thoughts of my own. So let me just blame this nebulous thing that everyone else blames. It's children do this.
And by the way, that's his content output for that week.
Yes, correct.
So it's like not only are you putting out nothing, next to nothing, what you do put out is making excuses for why you put out next to nothing. Yeah. It's like a comedy. Like when you look at like the videos that Michael Burns has released since he made that video, like e-begging and saying like, look guys, this is why the right's winning. They're getting all this money. I can't make ends meet, guys. I can't do this no work job. And it is a no work job.
It is.
For you, it's not a no work job. You spend all of your time like writing and recording stuff. You put work into your stuff. I put work into my stuff.
Simondon took 4.5 weeks to write, and it's just tore my brain apart.
Lazy ass Vosh puts work into the stuff that he puts out. He's moderately informed about things. This is Michael Burns's like political analysis. Nothing happens when Black Lives Matter happens. Kierkegaard, Patreon, the end, and that's actually the content. That's it. He doesn't say anything. There's nothing there. There's no thoughts. There's no evolution. There's no references. And if there are, go follow those references because he's probably stolen them from somebody.
Yeah, he makes no points. He doesn't put forward any. He hasn't done a video that he put forward philosophical ideas, except to do it wrong. The critique I had of him on postmodernism, he just continues, and he didn't respond or deal with it. The idea that he thinks, and again, it's flatly mistaken and embarrassing, that what Frederick Jameson was talking about was being able to fix postmodernism within capitalism, which is the opposite of all of the thinkers he talks about and supposedly he studied under in some capacity. The entire idea is beyond that. And to have him stop at that point is, again, because he can't mentally handle putting himself in a place where he isn't selling something. Mm-hmm. That's what he's doing. He's selling a cure. He's selling a fix. He's selling a solve that you can, if you just watch, you can learn. And all these grifters have that in common. It's Philosophy Tube. If you just watch me and pay attention, you're going to get a philosophy degree. You just need to stick with me. I'm helping you. You can learn so many things in so many clever ways. That shit that they push is them selling their brand, is them building their brand. And it is the same grift you see with MLM and assholes across the whole thing.
I worked for one of those recent.
The FBI has announced that, LT. 1 second. Sorry.
Suspected shooter not in custody. Ooh, okay.
Let's find out.
As of 15 minutes ago. That seems too recent. I think they let somebody go. Here we go. No, as of 10 minutes ago, suspect still at large. They haven't found somebody yet. Doesn't look like it. 2 hours ago, they had somebody in custody who they let go. They don't have the guy yet. All of the articles coming out now are just confirming that Charlie Kirk was killed.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. That can't be right. FBI director. That would freak me out if it just came straight for him. No way. Yeah, it's Kash Patel. The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. We will provide you with updates when we're able. And that was 7 minutes ago. So, I mean,
fingers crossed. It's a male conservative, is all I say at this point, because like.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
But it is the top comments. Again, this is what's going to be really difficult for things.
Mm-hmm.
All the comments, and they're from right-wingers. So they caught him, but they're not telling you name, motive, who radicalized him, how he got the guns, what platform he posted on, why the FBI was watching but didn't stop it every time. And these are getting a lot of likes under Kash Patel's things.
Oh yeah, because the
Christ.
Trump administration is absolutely going to protect the name and identity of a trans or a non-European name, right? That's what they're going to do.
Oh no, and again, they're face blind. It's which is a real thing, but face blind people on Twitter who are in these investigations, like it's one of the first posts underneath it. Also, that's getting a lot of likes is the old man, and then they have this like fetish picture of a old man dressed in a diaper with trans flags, and it's like not the same person.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, here we go.
But it feels good, doesn't it, to know that the person you hate is a weirdo? Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. It's like, oh, I knew it. Oh, look, and it's the exact same dynamic on both, in both cases, because a lot of the people who are like excited about this and happy about this and performatively like, oh well, that's what you get for being a demagogue and persecuting like trans people. It's like nobody's thinking about what this actually means. Nobody's thinking about what this actually does. Nobody really cares about the details.
Yeah.
No. Well, this was fun.
It's one of those things that we only really do these when it's like an extreme event. We should do more regularly, but we just need to figure out what the fuck that actually means.
Hundreds to die just to keep the fold going on a weekly basis.
Yeah, there we go. I don't have do you have anywhere you want to send people, or do you want to talk about a couple more things?
I'm good to just wrap it up here. We can, I think we were floating the idea of doing this on Fridays because it's like Friday Fold or whatever.
Yeah.
And just kind of like an end of the week wrap up and just chat about various stuff.
Yeah, do a couple hours, have a news thing, do some media stuff, and just make it a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
As
or
light as
heavier
we
as the
can
case
be.
may be. Like with stuff you can't really do light with stuff like this, but where do we want to I don't know. I enjoyed this. It's been a
I don't even know where to
nice
send
to do
people,
it,
but I think it'd be funny if we sent everyone to Kid Not Ken Willie's sleeping before he wakes up, and if everyone could just go and just make a comment, just because it's 200 some people in his stream, you just leave. Like, you don't have to do anything. Don't just make a comment, so that way he just missed a ton of people. I think that could be kind of funny.
Or saying, like, what if hypothetically we could never tell people to do this, right? Or I would never recommend it. I'm just saying I would find it personally very funny if everybody went to Vosh's channel and suddenly said, oops, stop the stream. Don't do it.
You don't want me to raid the Vasho? I'd rather not be involved with someone who has children eating horse asshole. I'm just saying, like,
they're goblins, Brooks.
No, those weren't. Those were not
short stack goblins. It's an innocent mistake anybody could make.
Okay. Oh, Dylan and Lucy are both live. Your call, Sunday. You raided in, you get to raid out.
Which Dylan?
Burns.
Oh, fuck him. Go to Lucy.
Lucy. Hey, Lucy Hayes, right?
Dan Norton, the lovable Ayn Rand.
It's Lucy Hayes, right?
Lucy Jose,
yeah. Lucy has not added us to the redirect.
No, well, Queeman's covering Charlie Kirk, so I'm there.
Want to send Queeman?
Let's send the Queeman.
Queeman, come on.
He hates you. It'll be funny.
Oh, he does. I've appreciated him. I told you, he's grown on me. I know he hates my guts, but his content can be pretty good.
When you're in my situation, you learn to make peace with liking people who hate you. So
I mean, generally has pretty good takes. I mean, he's not like some weird monster. He's got some general takes. He's got some bad takes. He's got some good takes. Can we not do a transphobe? Is he transphobic?
I don't know if he's transphobic right now. I haven't talked to him about that in a long time. I haven't seen him.
We can't raid Lucy. Like, literally can't. It's a thing to click.
We literally can't.
I can't click it. She has not allowed it.
Look, I think the upshot of you don't need to go. This is just where we're rating. You don't need to go. You don't need to follow where we rate.
You don't have to go where we're rating. May not be for everyone, but hey, when you get there, tell them the fold says. We can't send you to Lucy. Go yell at Lucy. It's Lucy's fault.
Lucy's literally not allowing us to. She literally has not enabled it. That was my preference. Can't.
All right. Good
Bye-bye.
Sunday?
I'm good.
All right. We'll send you off then.